All right, welcome to Talkin' Investing. I am Tom, and as always, this is not financial advice. It is the weekend, so I want to go through our 10K to 100K challenge. For those of you who are new to the channel, and please, if you're new, remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. So for those of you who are new, I'm just going to quickly go over what we're doing here this year. We started on the first trading day of January, which was January 3rd. We put $10,000 of cash in an account, and we want to take that $10,000 and obviously turn it into as much as we can turn it into. Along the way, we have a couple other objectives that are important. Number one, we need to be making money. That is the purpose of investing. So over the course of time, we need to be making money. And secondly, we need to be doing better than all the regular indexes. So what we've picked are the four major indices, which are the Dow, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, the Russell 2000, as well as the two largest precious metals, which are gold and silver, and then the two largest cryptocurrencies, which are Bitcoin and Ethereum. So we are going to monitor our portfolio against all of those things for the year, and we're going to see where each one of those ends up. So obviously the purpose of this, the point of this, is to beat all of those. So just so that you understand the contest rules, if we don't end the year in first place, then we didn't win. And I'll give you a heads up and I'll show you later. We are not in first place right now. However, it's very early in the year, and that is a part of this whole process. So this is not a get rich quick. This is more of a long-term trading strategy for those of you who don't have all day, every day to be trading, but you are active in the market. You know, this is mostly a buy and hold with some swing trading in here. If you want to find out the exact details of what my portfolio is in the 10K challenge, you can join our Discord for free, and then there's an upgraded membership where you can see my exact portfolio if you're interested in that. Okay, so the first thing is, here's the challenge portfolio as of 2/25/2022. So that was end of the trading day on Friday. You'll see I have 13 positions. As of last Friday, I had 13 positions as well. This is not a stock portfolio that's going to be substantially changing on a week-to-week basis. The way I've tried to choose these stocks are choose stocks that I believe over the next 12 months are going to have significant gains. So whether they come in the first week or the 20th week, you know, somewhere along the line, sooner than later, I'm expecting these stocks to have gains. So obviously, I'm not going to be selling them in 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, or even 1 or 2 months. In fact, I expect that I will probably hold a lot of these at December 31st, 2022, which means basically I will have held some portion of them for the year. Now, that doesn't mean I won't take profits along the way, because I definitely will. So what I did this week is actually only make one trade. You'll see these are listed from my biggest position to my smallest position. So the first thing I'll point out is I do trade options, but you'll see I have 1, 2, 3, 4 different options. They are my 4 smallest positions. I try to remain balanced mostly in stock. At the moment, CleanSpark is my largest position. And what is happening to me is I try to keep these positions, I try to have like A positions and B positions. My A positions are my larger ones, and I try to keep them at a similar size. And then my B positions are my medium-sized positions, and I try to keep them at a similar size. And then my smallest positions are my options. Now, every once in a while, one of these small options positions will turn into one of my largest positions. It's likely that that's when I will trade it. I try not to get greedy on options. If I've pulled a triple, it's time to take the money and run. So obviously, from the top, these are my highest conviction trades. And what you'll see is I have 3 Bitcoin mining companies. So I have about 30% of my portfolio in Bitcoin mining companies. So that's pretty heavy. That's, you know, everybody has their own different tolerance for risk concentration. I consider 30% of your portfolio in the same area as a concentration of risk. And that's about as high as I'm willing to go. And I am extremely bullish on Bitcoin miners. So what has happened is CleanSpark has had a very good run, and it's turning into, by far at this point, it's pulling away as my largest position. So sometime fairly soon, I will take a little bit of profits on this. And that's how I plan to do this throughout the year. You know, if CleanSpark gets $500 ahead of everybody else, I may take $250 of that, put it back into cash, so that I can continue to reinvest throughout the year. Because remember, $10,000 went into this account at the beginning of the year, but we won't be adding any more money to it for the rest of the year. So it's really, what can we do with this initial $10,000? So obviously I can't just buy and hold for an entire year. I do have to take profits along the way. But having said that, CleanSpark will almost certainly be a position I hold on to all year. It's actually a long-term position I plan to hold for years. But as it runs up, it's nice to take profits, particularly since the Bitcoin mining stocks are highly volatile, and at the moment, really, all the small cap, high growth stocks are highly volatile. So some profit taking when things run up ahead of themselves just makes sense. So the only purchase that I made this week is, you'll see down here, there's Bitfarms $5 calls. Since I bought my Bitfarms position, my main position is down. So I've actually been averaging in through options. I originally bought these options, and then all the Bitcoin miners took such a big hit, I was able to get, instead of the 750s, I was able to get into the $5 options for a very inexpensive price. Okay, so let's take a look at where my portfolio sits at the end of the week, and then we're going to take a look at where it sits compared to everything else and see how everything else did this last week. We finished the week. We are now at $8,059.90. So we're down $300 this week. Unfortunately, I did not take the opportunity to buy into a lot of these when they flash crashed for the first few minutes at the open on Thursday. It's important to remember these are paper losses because I have sold nothing. So I'm very comfortable with the positions that I have right now. I have not changed my mind on any of the positions that I've bought into. If I do, if something changes with the company, that would be the time I would make a change. So far, that has not happened with any of these companies. It's either been neutral or good news for the most part. So I left my portfolio intact. So on paper, it's down $300 this week. In reality, I would expect to get that back and then some. The other thing is I have $1,417 of cash that I have yet to invest. So remember, we started this on January 3rd. It's now the end of February. We're almost 2 months into this. I have $1,400 I have not yet invested. So I will get some of this invested. I'm probably never going to get down to zero. I don't want to have no cash. I don't want to have no flexibility when opportunities present themselves. So this is already getting pretty low, but if there's buying opportunities, I will buy. Okay, so here's where everything ended up on the week. For the most part, all of the things we're competing against had a very small change when you looked at the entire week. It's a little misleading to look at the fact that they finished just about where they started, because in the middle there was some rough days. The rankings are the same from 1 through 9, except for the fact that silver now jumped into first from second place and gold moved into second place from first place. And you'll notice these two are green. Out of everything we're following, these are the only two things that are up on the year. Gold's up 3.5%, silver's up 4%, so they're acting very similarly. This makes sense. We're in a very risk-off environment right now, particularly as the geopolitical stuff heats up, which obviously it has dramatically in recent days and weeks. So the investors have flocked a little bit to these safer assets. Everything else is really having a rough year. The Dow's doing okay, down 6%. The S&P's down 8%. This is just since January 1st. Now, a lot of these are down much more from their recent high. The NASDAQ and the Russell 2000 hit bear market territory in the middle of this week. So the Russell ended the week down 9%, NASDAQ down 12.5%, Bitcoin down 15.5%. So our challenge right now is down 19.41%. And again, we're down about $300 on this week, but I want to remind everybody I have not sold. And then Ethereum is having the toughest time out of everybody, down just under 28% on the year. So we sit in 8th place right now, which is obviously not at all our goal. Remember, our goal is if we do not finish number 1, we'll consider that we did not succeed on our 10K to 100K journey. Now, we don't expect to get to 100K by the end of the year, so I want to re-emphasize we're taking this journey to 100K however long it takes. But what we do expect is we expect to finish the year in first place versus all of these items that we've chosen to measure ourselves against. So we've got some work to do. One of the key things that I want to focus on before I wrap up this week is the stocks that I have picked, and I talk about this a lot. I don't know when the bottom is. I pick stocks that I believe over the course of the next year are going to have a lot of upside. So I start to dollar cost average into them. And obviously, they've gone down, some of them, before they've gone up here. But the thing is, I have not sold anything. So that is vital. What ends up happening to investors is, nobody buys at the very top and sells at the very bottom on purpose. When you buy in, you feel like it's a good investment. But then as it starts to slide, if you don't know your investments and if you don't have conviction in your trades, you will start to sell them, even though they're down. So effectively, even though you thought it was a good price to begin with, you have ended up buying high and selling low, and then you jump into something else and think, well, there's more money to be made over there. Unfortunately, you probably are going to take the same exact ride on the next thing you jump into. If you know your stocks, and that's why I recommend not having 20 or 30 stocks in your portfolio. Know your stocks. If that means it's 5, it's 5. If that means it's 7, whatever the case may be. Most of you don't have all day, every day to do this. So, trying to juggle 15 stocks is very difficult. So what I try to do is, if I have high conviction in a stock and I've started to buy into it and it goes down, I view that as an opportunity. Obviously, in the short term, it means my portfolio would appear to be going down. But again, this is on paper. So it is down, it's on paper, but I have no recognized losses at this point. So this is going to have to play itself out over the year, which is why I'm updating this once a week. I want you guys to see the whole journey because this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. This is a long grind. So it's going to start out with 52 weeks, and then I'm going to keep going from there. But a 1-year cycle will be a really good look. At least you get some insight as to how I trade as somewhat of a long-term investor. I do some swing trades as well, but my core positions are long-term positions. They're companies that I believe in over the course of time. Thanks so much for joining me. That is the end of week 8 of the 10K challenge. You can join our Discord to discuss, and there's some upgraded levels in the Discord if you want more detailed information. So thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.